By the end of this video, you will learn how professional pickleball players decide where to send their returns, and more importantly, how you can use the same formula to make it extremely difficult for opponents to score on you. Returning serve might feel like just another part of the game, but in reality, it sets the tone for the entire rally. If you get it right, you're in control. If you get it wrong, you'll spend the point scrambling. This skill doesn't just separate pros from amateurs, it's the foundation of smart play. And today, I'll walk you through everything, from handling huge serves, to targeting weaker ones, to modern return strategies that are now popping up on tour. Not all serves are created equal. The first thing you need to do is assess the quality of the serve you're facing. A big, heavy serve requires a very different return strategy than a weak, floating one. When you're up against someone with a strong serve, the formula is simple. Send the ball back to the server. Why? Because that line of return gives you the longest distance across the court and also sends the ball over the lowest part of the net. That means more margin for error, more consistency, and more time to move forward toward the kitchen line. Returning deep to the server also forces them to reset their position. If they've crept into the court to take advantage of their serve, you'll push them back behind the baseline. And if you can add some spin to your return, the ball dips sooner, making their next shot even tougher. The goal here isn't to get fancy. It's survival, positioning, and buying yourself time to get where you need to be. Now, let's switch gears. If the serve isn't that strong, maybe it's short or it doesn't have much pace, you suddenly have options. This is where strategy gets more fun, because you can choose to shape the rally right from the start. When you're returning from the even side, one of the smartest plays is sending the ball deep, right in front of yourself. What this does is allow your partner to shift toward the middle and be ready to poach with their forehand. You've essentially created a setup for your team right from the return. There is a risk though. If your return isn't deep or strong enough, you could get caught as you're moving forward. That's why shot quality matters here. A lazy return could invite a hard drive straight at you, but a solid one, it tilts the rally in your favor. And if you're stacking, returning in front of yourself also makes it harder for opponents to find passing lanes. You're cutting off their options while giving your team an easier time controlling the middle. From the odd side, the thinking is a little different. A strong target is the player positioned on the left side of the court, particularly aiming toward their backhand. Why? Because most players are less comfortable driving or attacking from that wing. If you can send an aggressive return to that backhand side, you can predict with decent confidence that they'll give you a drop rather than a drive. That predictability lets you position yourself more aggressively, but if you float the ball to their forehand, suddenly they've got choices. They might drive it, they might drop it. Either way, they're dictating, not you. By hitting firm to the backhand, you're narrowing their playbook and setting yourself up to attack their reply. For years, the standard teaching was to treat your return of serve like an approach shot. Hit it deep, keep moving through it, and follow it into the kitchen. That's still effective. But in recent seasons, a new strategy has started to surface at the professional level. Instead of moving through the ball, players are beginning to treat their return more like an aggressive passing shot. They're standing firm, focusing on generating topspin and hitting with more pace and accuracy. The trade-off is clear. You sacrifice some ability to move forward quickly, but you gain higher shot quality. When you hit a return with topspin and pace, you pin your opponent back, force weaker replies, and sometimes even earn outright errors. It's not something you'll see on every return, but it's becoming a more common weapon, especially for players confident in their partner's ability to cover space while they recover. So, which is better, moving through the return like an approach shot, or standing firm and hitting a heavy ground stroke? The truth is, both have their place. If you move through your return, you'll get to the net more reliably, which is crucial for controlling points. But your return might not have as much spin, pace, or accuracy. On the other hand, if you focus purely on hitting a higher quality ball, heavier, spinnier, deeper, you're slowing down your transition. That means your partner needs to be ready to cover until you get set. It's a balancing act. Neither method is right or wrong. It depends on the situation, your opponent's serve, and your team's confidence. That's why pros mix both. Sometimes they prioritize court position, other times they prioritize shot quality. The best players know when to choose each option. It's funny. For a long time, the return of serve wasn't thought of as a weapon in pickleball. Players treated it as a formality. something you just had to get in play. But that's changing. As the level of play rises, the return is quickly becoming one of the most important shots in the game. It shapes the rally before it even begins. Think about it this way. The serve gives the server the first move, but the return dictates the tempo. A smart returner can neutralize the serve, put the returning team in control, and set up offensive opportunities right away. And because returning doesn't rely on power alone, it's a skill any player can master with enough focus and intention. So, what does this all mean for you? It means that every time you step onto the court, you should think of your return as more than just a way to keep the ball in play. It's your first chance to take control. Against strong serves, keep it simple. Return deep to the server, use the longest angle, and buy yourself time to reach the kitchen line. Against weaker serves, choose smarter targets. Return in front of yourself from the even side to set up your partner, and aim to the backhand when you're on the odd side to reduce your opponent's options. Experiment with both return styles, the traditional approach shot method and the newer, topspin heavy ground stroke. Learn when each one makes sense,